Big tech is tracking you without your knowledge, but they're not tapping your camera and microphone. They're using hidden sensors you've probably never heard of.
We're going to explain exactly how big tech is tracking you and explain the #1 way Androids are superior to iPhones when it comes to protecting your privacy.
Yep, the first thing we're going to do is give you superpowers. Those superpowers are called developer options. First, swipe down from the top of the screen to open the quick settings menu, then tap the settings gear in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Scroll all the way down until you see About Phone. Tap on that, then tap on Software Information, and then tap the build number 7 times. Enter your PIN, and now you are developer mode man.
So that was kind of the montage that precedes a lot of the superheroes, sort of their backstory.
Yes,
that was it.
That's the developer options backstory.
How Bruce Wayne became Batman.
Yep.
Right there.
All right, so now let's tap back to the main page of settings, and what do you know? Developer options there at the bottom of the screen, right below About Phone. Let's tap on that. Then scroll down to Quick Settings Developer Tiles. We're going to turn on this switch next to Sensors Off. When Sensors Off is on your Android, it disables all the sensors, camera, microphone, gyroscope, accelerometer, and that can actually really cut down on how big tech tracks you.
David just mentioned the accelerometer in your phone, which is essentially the sensor that detects motion, XYZ axis. The accelerometer just detected that. So if we're on a bus together and his phone is totally optimized for privacy, he thinks, okay, I can't be tracked. But mine isn't. So Facebook, every app is getting all of my accelerometer data. All they need to do is match that up to other people who have exactly the same. You can imagine if you're on a bus, you're going to hit bumps at the same time. It's going to turn at the same time. Your phone's getting all that. And then they can track David because they can match up the accelerometer data.
If you have an iPhone, you cannot turn off the accelerometer. Android, big victory there. So how do we turn on Sensors Off now that the switch is on? Swipe down to the Quick Settings menu. You'll see this new Sensors Off icon. Tap that. Now it's on. So just a little demo here for you. If I go and try to open the camera app, security policy prevents use of camera.
Uh-oh. So you don't have to go back to that crazy menu in the Batcave every time you want to use this feature. You can just swipe down from the top and then tap the button and then go to camera. This is much more effective than putting a piece of black tape over the camera on your Android.
And you might be wondering why this isn't a default quick settings tile, and I think the issue is that if you accidentally turned it on and you didn't really know what you were doing, camera doesn't work, you can't make phone calls because the microphone doesn't work, and then Android would be getting a whole bunch of support calls requests. And Samsung would be, really angry.
Exactly, yeah. Don't you think this should be an option that you could enable in settings without having to go into some crazy developer options menu?
Probably.
It's not like it's that developer-y of an option.
Yep.
I think a lot of people would like this.
The truth is, big tech doesn't need to tap your microphone and camera. While they can use the accelerometer and gyroscope, they may also have access to things like your photos, your contacts, your text messages, your location, and you might not even remember giving them that access.
We're going to put a stop to that. But before we do, if you can give this video a like, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot.
Let's go into Permission Manager, go back to the Settings app, Quick Settings menu here, tap on that settings gear, and then we're going to scroll up to Privacy. Right here in the middle of the screen, Permission Manager, tap on that. So body sensors, calendar, call log, camera, which apps on your Android have access to these other apps and services and sensors? So let's take contacts for instance. Does Amazon Shopping need access to all the contacts on your Android?
Nuh-uh.
Probably not. And then if you got a friend who has you saved as a contact and they give Amazon Shopping all of your contact information, well share this video with them.
And they're a jerk.
And tell them to turn it off. So we're going to tap Don't Allow. Contact permission can be useful for some social media apps at first. You join the platform, they say, import your contacts, we can find all your friends quickly. And I think, but after that initial setup process, come back in here, turn it off. So for example, Snapchat, I don't think so. Tap back to the Permission Manager. Next, let's tap on Location. Which apps do you want to have access to your location, and how often do you want them to have that access?
Amazon Shopping? Definitely. Nope.
Right now, Amazon Shopping has access all the time. That means all the time, even when you're not using the app.
And that also means it has access to your battery all the time, and GPS is a big battery drainer. So getting these apps out of here will save you battery life.
Yeah, also Google, last access 11:52 a.m. This phone has just been sitting on the table for the past 3 hours as we were getting set up today. So tap in the location. Let's tap on Amazon Shopping. Location access for this app while using the app. I mean, maybe it's useful for you need your address to autofill or something. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But ask every time is usually a safe bet for most apps.
And use precise location will also save battery life. If you turn that off, the less specific it is, the less battery it uses.
Yeah, precise location. I mean, how precise does a Facebook location need to be, for example?
Probably not very precise, but something like DoorDash or Uber.
Yep.
More precise.
Yep, so let's turn off that switch for Amazon Shopping and just go through this list. I mean, the big one is allowed all the time. If it's anything else, you're probably okay, but just watch out for these apps under allowed all the time. Next, let's tap back to Permission Manager, scroll down, SMS.
AKA text messages.
Which apps do you want looking at your text messages? Well, for example here, we have Galaxy Wearable app. That has access to all my text messages. I don't have a Galaxy Wearable. Doesn't need access to all of my text messages. I don't think so. So we tap on that, just don't allow. Easy.
But if you don't have one, why do you care?
Why do you care? And you might be thinking, no, Samsung, Google, pretty reputable companies. But what happens if there's a data leak or there's a software issue and then maybe all the messages they have access to happen to get leaked? I don't know.
Yeah. Possible that could happen. Also, you don't really know how they're using this data because they bury this whole and we can use it for marketing purposes and share it with other third party and our friends. And you agreed to that when you set up the phone the first time or something like that. So this is good.
Yep. Let's step back to Permission Manager, and really what we recommend doing is just going into all of these different permissions and being really deliberate about what apps have access to what on your Android. The truth is that big tech companies don't need permission to access your location, your microphone, your camera all the time to track you. There are a lot of little bits of information they can collect and create a digital fingerprint about you and really focus in on you as an individual.
You should follow all the steps in this video because it's going to sort of blur out that picture and remove a lot of the pieces.
Right.
So you become not Susie Green, you become some person that's in a very generic universal bucket who maybe they know likes cats, which is not as terrifying.
Let's tap back to the main privacy page in settings and scroll down to Samsung customization service. Tap on that. Then we're going to scroll down here. Share your customization service data with Samsung so the ads and other marketing materials you get match your interests and activities.
Nah.
No. Now, this turns it off, but it doesn't erase the data that has been saved about you so far. So right up here, erase your data, tap on that. It may take up to 2 days for the request to be processed. They really want to milk those last 48 hours. But let's tap erase, verify it's you. So you got to verify it yourself. It's difficult.
You have to verify it's you to erase the advertising data.
Tap send email. Verify that it's you. Of course they know it's you because they've been collecting all this information about you, but whatever.
And for the record, we don't really check this email address, so feel free to email it, but we're not going to see anything.
It's going to get ignored.
Yeah.
All right, so after you do that verification, let's go back here to the main page of privacy. Send diagnostic data. A bit of a quick win here. Turn that switch off. Uncheck the box next to I agree to send diagnostic data, and then tap OK.
So it's still quick.
Quick.
2 steps. Should have been 1. It was 2. 1 step, subscribing to our channel.
Yes.
Super easy to do. Just click the subscribe button. Help us get to 1 million subscribers. We would be forever in your debt.
Yes, and we don't collect any of your personal information. So we just took care of some Samsung privacy stuff, but you also need to do these steps again for Google. So let's tap on Android personalization service under Google here. Get personalized content based on your app usage. For example, text you've entered in one app may appear as a search suggestion in another app.
Okay, this is a big deal. Why? Because anything you type into one app can now be entered as a search suggestion, which then gets sent to this other app that you don't know about, and then they know what you typed in the other app.
Yep.
Maybe you're typing a password. Now your password just got searched for in Google. You don't want that.
So let's turn off that switch, turn off Android personalization service. Go back to the main page of the privacy section. Google location history. Do you want Google saving a list of all the locations that you've been? I don't think so.
No, I don't.
I don't think so. So location history, let's tap that turn off button. Then you got to scroll down and tap pause because you're not turning it off, you're just pausing it. You'll be back.
I'll be back.
We'll tap pause. Tap got it. If you really love Google location history, there is an option to auto-delete that location history every 3 months, 18 months, or 36 months, which is 3 years, which is an awful long time. But we really just recommend turning it off.
I wonder why they chose 3 months, 18, and 36.
I don't know. Next, we're going to turn off personalized ads for Google. You'd think it would live here in the privacy section of the settings where it says ads. It does not. It's very difficult to turn this off. Google really just makes all of their money selling ads, essentially. So let's tap back, lower right-hand corner of the screen, and then tap on Google. So in the Google section of settings, tap Manage Your Google Account, then tap this little Data and Privacy tab. Scroll down, here we go, Location History Pause, that's nice to see. Scroll down here to Add Settings. Ads personalization is currently on, let's tap on that. And then turn off this switch next to ads, personalization. Tap turn off. They're really going to beg you to stay. You're going to say, tough break, Google.
They're still going to make money too. Don't feel too bad for them.
There are contextual ads. If you're on an Android help website, you're going to see Android fix ads. It's not like you're going to see low quality
crap ads. You're just going to see ads that aren't related to other websites that you were on, which probably aren't related to what you're looking at anyway.
Yep, tap got it, lower right-hand corner of the screen. So that's really what you need to do. We've done a pretty good job of limiting Google. One more thing you really need to do. Tap back, lower right-hand corner of the screen, tap back again, keep going back to the main page of settings, tap on privacy, scroll down to usage and diagnostics, tap on that, turn off that switch. Can also use a little bit of cellular data if it's sending that data to Google over cellular as opposed to Wi-Fi, a little bit of a battery drain or two.
Yeah. Unless they're paying you.
Yeah.
You don't need to send this to them.
Yeah, that's what you need to do to really cut down on Google and Samsung and big tech from collecting those little bits of information. Those are a lot of, quick little tips that add up to a lot.
We've changed a lot on this Android. Surely we must be done by now.
We're not done, and don't call me Shirley. There is another Android privacy setting that is so dangerous, your Android actually warns you against leaving it on.
Wow.
Curious. Let's tap back to the main page of settings using that little back button, lower right-hand corner of the screen. One above privacy is biometrics and security. And then we're going to tap on, after scrolling down, to install unknown apps. Tap on that. Which apps do you want to be able to download other apps on your Android without your permission?
I'm just glad that these are all on by default.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's good.
The concern here is that a third-party app downloads another app, that app has malware, infects your phone, you get spied on, your phone gets hacked, a lot of bad things can happen. It could be a chain reaction too, where it installs a bad app, which installs a bad app, installs a bad app.
Kind of a critical mass problem, like in a nuclear reactor, and the whole thing explodes.
It's like the Borg, and they planted the sleep command. Installing apps from the source may put your phone and data at risk. I think that's correct. So, what we recommend doing, turn it off for everything, and see which apps need to install third-party apps on your Android, and then at that time, you can grant them access if you feel like that app's important.
Or you can go and download the app yourself from the App Store.
Yes.
Or the Google Play Store, whatever the hell it's called.
So it's not very interesting to watch me turn off all these switches. Let's just pretend I turned them all off. It's not just sketchy apps having access to download other apps you need to worry about. Did you know that there may be some more reputable apps that could have total admin control over your phone to the point where they could erase all the data on your phone?
Ugh, dear Lord, how do we turn that off?
Let's go back to the main page of biometrics and security. One below install unknown apps is other security settings. Then we're going to tap on device admin apps. These are the apps with admin access on your Android. So right now, if I tap on find my device, it has the ability to erase all data, change the lock screen, lock the screen, and disable some lock features. You may be thinking, that sounds important to leave on.
That's
find
what
my
I was
device.
Yeah.
Well, I've got news for you. An Android Police article has a pretty good summary of why you don't need to leave this on. Google tells us that the setting is effectively a throwback, only required on devices running Android 9, that's Pie, and below for it to get access to system-level APIs required to wipe or lock it. So if you don't want an app or function to have admin access, just tap that deactivate button. First, look for any sketchy apps that may have somehow gotten admin access. Pretty unlikely. But you should also be concerned about the bigger names, because what happens if there's a software glitch or there's a hack, and somebody who's not Samsung, who's not Microsoft, gets access to these features and just takes the admin control and wipes everything on your phone.
Let's say you have Outlook for work. Maybe you gave your work access to be able to set up your email accounts, but you also gave them access here to be able to delete your device. And you don't want John, the administrator, who you rejected 7 times because he's kind of a creep, to then just delete your phone.
Yep, so be careful with these admin apps. See what they have access to actually do on your Android. A lot of the time it's just locking and unlocking the screen, but be careful with that. If you enjoyed this video, consider joining this channel with all of these fine folks whose names are currently scrolling down the screen.
Joining helps us create videos like this. We appreciate it, and also gives you the ability to talk to us in our Discord channel. So please join.
Lots of great perks. Ultimately, you should be the one in control of your Android. You're the admin. You're the one who installs apps and gets to use the microphone and camera. Don't let these big tech companies spy on you. And make sure to share this video with your friends. As we mentioned a lot of different times in this video, setting it up on just your phone often is not enough to at least start preventing Google and Samsung from It's vestigial.
I have one question. What the heck does vestigial mean?
Vestigial, like vestigial structure. So like I think the tailbone, wisdom teeth, they used to have a function. They no longer have a function.
Like an appendix.
Yes.